Hey guys, so I came up with the introductory JavaScript assignment for you. The purpose of this assignment is to give you just an introduction on how to accomplish simple behavior with JavaScript. In other words, changing some basic elements on the screen in reaction to some basic click events like a mouse over or a click of the mouse. So I think I alluded to this in class a little bit. I was thinking of having you guys do a simple form of Tic-Tac-Toe, and this isn't actually the full game, but there's two behaviors here that I've asked you to implement. The first is a simple hover, so you can see that as I move my mouse from one cell to another, that the border style of each cell changes from black to green. So, for those of you who've used jQuery before, the purpose of this assignment is to do this with just pure JavaScript. So, I'll be going over in class the basic tools that you need to be able to accomplish this in basic JavaScript. So try to stick to that. The other behavior that I want you to implement is this click behavior here. So if you'll notice, the cell that I have highlighted, if I click on it once, it switches from blank to an X, and I can do that for any of these. And so not only does it do that, but once I have an X there, if I click on it again, so if I click on any X, it changes that X to an O. So I can do that for any cell. And if I click on any O, it will change that back to nothing. So that's really all that it does. Is for any given cell, it will cycle through the different options based on what's already there. So the reason that is useful is it does more than just do something when you click on it. It does something when you click on it depending on what's already there. That forces you to write an if statement. So the purpose of this, obviously the existence of all these cells to begin with requires you to write, a loop of some sorts in JavaScript in order to capture all the different cells. So, here we have, writing a loop. We have some if statements. You'll say something like, if there's already, whatever you clicked on, if there's already an X there, then change it to an O. If there's an O there, then change it to nothing. So there's some conditional logic, and there's some event binding, and there's some style manipulation in JavaScript. So I didn't want this to be too hard, but at the same time I wanted you to get at least some experience with JavaScript doing some basic event binding and behavior manipulation. So while this example isn't real snazzy, and it's not really content oriented where we have like a big website full of paragraphs and images, this is really just to get you acclimated to the idea of grabbing divs in JavaScript, changing them conditionally, and I think this will at least give you a good grasp on the basic elements of JavaScript: declaring variables, defining functions, invoking functions, writing loops, doing some if statements. Once we get comfortable with this, I think the moving on to a more content, an example with a larger amount of content for the jQuery lab will be a little more intensive in that area. So I'm just going to leave it at this for the requirements for the JavaScript lab, and I'll help you guys out in class, guiding you kind of in the direction that I want you to go with this. So don't beat yourself up too much if you get confused along the way. This is the first JavaScript assignment we've had, and I will make sure that everybody is on the right track with this.